Somewhere when I was in maybe like 6th or 7th standard, I wrote my first story and sent it to one of the popular science magazines in Malayalam. And it was a science fiction story. And it got published. And then I thought, oh, okay, so I can write stories after stories. Then over a period of time, I realized that like the best stories can be written by looking at others, seeing people, empathizing with their life, the way they live. And so that's where I started my first step towards becoming an author, becoming a writer, becoming a storyteller. Curiosity Kills the Katha is a collection of 9 stories. And from the name of the book itself, like there is something related to curiosity in each one of the stories. Basically, these collection of stories are about people whom you meet on the road every day. They could be your friends, your relatives, your colleagues, and believe it or not, their stories have really surprising endings. The real life surprises you much more than the best fiction one can write.
Tell us about the short story, God Himself.
This thought occurred to me, what if the teacher is a suicide bombing trainer? I mean, it's a terrorist trainer. And the student is a terrorist who is being trained to die. And how would they see that event? I mean, the learning is an event where you internalize something. So their way of internalizing what they are supposed to do, the skills they develop, the experiences they have, and that's what brought the concept of God Himself.
You have acted for the first time in God Himself.
It was a great experience, and I realized that probably it's much more easy to act in life than act in front of the camera. Frankly, when I wrote the story and then I look at it, and then this was one story which I thought it cannot be visualized because it was more of a monologue. There are not much conversation, and there are not much visual aspects to the story. It's about somebody's thoughts, and I didn't have a clue how one can ever convert it into a visual experience. So when our director looked at the thing and said like, no, this is great, I can convert it into a good script. And when Raj came back with the script, I was quite surprised. So that's when I realized watching movie does not make you any better in understanding what movies are about. It was a totally different interpretation of the story.
You have already released another book called Palette of Love.
So when I wrote my first book, a lot of people came back and told me Ashok, you're not very romantic. I mean, you don't have the notion of love in your stories. You're more philosophical. I said, okay. Whether I am romantic or not, the people around me of whom I am writing my stories, and they're definitely romantic, and they have very, very a nice portion, a nice side of their life. So I thought, okay, I'll depict a few stories, and I depict their version of love.